We all know people can be tricky at home, at work, and everywhere in between. But what if understanding your personality type and the types of those around you could make those relationships easier? Merrick Rosenberg is an award winning author and personality expert. And in his brand new book, Personality Intelligence Master the Art of Being You, he breaks it all down into four different personalities and so much more. Merrick, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Okay, look, you say if we understand your concepts, the drama in our lives dealing with other people just melts away. So please describe your four personality types. There are four bird types, right?
I've linked them to four birds. It makes it easier. If you picture someone who's an eagle, eagles are confident. They are take charge. They're all about results. They know what they want and they want it now. Then you've got parrots. Parrots are fun. They're social. They're outgoing. They are optimistic. They always see the bright side in everything. You've got doves, and doves are caring and compassionate, and they just want people to get along. They listen and they're there for you. And you have owls who are logical, analytical. They have a process. They have 1,000 questions. And if they're going to do it, they're going to do it right. And so we're not just one of them. We're a combination of all four, but there's probably one or two which are your default style, and you display those behaviors a lot.
Okay, so knowing what your personality type is, recognizing that, how does that help you get along with other people? Because everybody's so different.
Imagine if you are an eagle and you're direct, you are straightforward and candid, and you're in a relationship with someone's a dove who has the dove style, and you are just way too assertive for them and you offend them all the time. But if you knew this person's a dove, I need to soften my words. I need to ask them, how are you doing? And listen to them. Then you treat them how they need to be treated. Your relationship probably going to be stronger. And as you said, way less drama.
Okay, so I'm thinking it means you have to be a little selfless, not just thinking about yourself and bullying into a room, like a bull in a china shop with your own personality, right? You're trying to meet people where they are. I mean, we hear that all the time to do that.
Yeah, it's this idea of don't impose your style on others. It's so easy to just display our natural traits all the time. But if you're thinking about who am I talking to, you satisfy their needs. Imagine you're a parrot and you're talking to an owl. Owls need lots of information. And if you just say, hey, here's what you got to do, go do it, the owl's like, whoa, I need more information here. What are you looking for? How do you want me to start this? How do you want this to look? What do you want this to be like at the end? And the parrot's like, oh, don't worry, you're good. Yeah, that's probably not working for you. But if I know your style, I can communicate to you how you want to be communicated to. Things are going to go a lot smoother.
So you give people 10 quick questions to figure out someone's personality style. Can you share a couple of your favorites, the ones that really almost instantly reveal who you're dealing with?
Let's start with something like an email. If I get an email from someone, I'm taking a look at what kind of emails are you writing. If they are direct and to the point, probably an eagle. If they are filled with exclamation points, probably the parrot. If it starts off with, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well, probably the dove. If it has a lot of information and a lot of questions and attachments and the scroll bar is popped on because this letter is long, probably the owl. So right off the bat, something like, how do you write an email? I could tell you your style just by looking at what you're sending me. Or maybe
Oh,
how you
that's
order food
interesting.
in a restaurant. If you're an eagle, do you just go in, pick your order, pick what you're getting in 10 seconds, done? Parrot wants to try whatever. I've never tried this before. Sounds interesting. The dove goes with the tried and true, what they always get. And the owl probably read the menu before they even showed up, and they have a lot of questions for the server. So it's questions like that. It's like, how do you drive? How do you speak? How do you communicate? How do you lead that point to what your style is?
Okay, so you say that winning traits can be learned, they're not just inherited. So, which winning traits stand out to you as game changers, and how can we practice them in our everyday life?
Well, it's taking one from each. So it's, in other words, if we took the eagle and said, if you can be direct, you call it like it is, you get your needs met. If you're a dove, you're caring and compassionate. If you can dial that up when you need to, you're going to connect with people. If you're An owl, if you can tap into detail orientation and do things properly, you're going to be successful. If you can tap into the parrot's enthusiasm and energy, you're going to create positivity wherever you go. And if I were to add a fifth, it's what I call being the chameleon, and it's adaptability, and it's the ability to tap into the right style at the right time, what is needed in the moment.
Yeah, that's a strength. I've heard people say, "Oh, you're just a chameleon," but I think that that can be a strength to adapt in the situation that you're in.
Yeah, it's a fundamentally core strength to be able to look at the person and say, all right, I'm talking to an eagle and I better get to the point or else I'm going to lose them. Or I'm talking to a parrot. And if I want them to be excited, dial up the energy and enthusiasm and they get excited too. If I can adapt to you and be the chameleon and be flexible, I satisfy your needs. And guess who else gets their needs met when we satisfy their needs, we get our own needs met too.
So you make the case that understanding your personality type can actually help launch and even scale business. So can you share an example of knowing what your own personality style is, how it can influence your success as an entrepreneur?
Imagine an entrepreneur, and this is true for leaders in general, who creates an environment that they will thrive in, but not an environment that their people will thrive in. They only create an environment that they feel like, yeah, this is what it has to be. Like if you have an eagle who creates an eagle environment, the doves may not feel cared about. The parrots may not feel excited and energized. The owls may feel like they don't get enough information to make good decisions. If you're a leader and you create an environment where everyone is comfortable, you satisfy their needs, and you create an environment that is likely to drive success.
I heard something that you said in one of your videos. You say the most self aware people are the happiest and most successful. Now, we all know people who are not self aware, whether it's somebody that we work closely with or we may just know people who are not self aware, but what if that person who has no self awareness is someone you work closely with or that you have somehow a close personal relationship? What do you do with somebody like that? How do you get along with someone who lacks self awareness?
Like we're either a fountain or a drain. We either add positive energy to our lives or we take it away. And some people drain us. The first thing to recognize is their behavior has nothing to do with you. In other words, if you have an owl and they ask 1,000 questions and you're the parrot and you're just like, let's just do it. Those questions aren't about you. They're asking them because they have a fundamental need to find out what is happening. And if they don't know, they're stressed. So the most important thing to recognize is it's not about you, it's about them. And when you accept that, it helps to remove the drama and it depersonalizes the issue. Just say, hey, that's just them. That has nothing to do with me.
So you also in your book you kind of break down or you profile some celebrities, their personality types. Can you give us a little glimpse at that? I know you mentioned Taylor Swift.
Sure. We'll work our way up because she's the chameleon. So let's start with somebody like Simone Biles, confident, risk taker, wants to win, and she will just absolutely try things no one is willing to try. That is the eagle. Somebody like Kelly Clarkson, look, an amazing singer, but how does she get her own TV show? It's probably not about her voice as much as it is her personality, her
Mhm.
parrot style, her energy, and her enthusiasm. That's why she has the career she has. You look at someone like Keanu Reeves, just caring, compassionate. Google nicest guy in Hollywood. He probably comes up as one of the top folks because he gives back and he's helpful and he's compassionate. Someone who's an owl, somebody like Jerry Seinfeld. You think, well, comedians, they've got to be parrots. Not necessarily. He asks questions, a lot of them. His entire humor is based on the premise of understanding the world around him. Have you ever noticed? Do you ever wonder why? That's the owl in action. So when you utilize your style at its highest degree and you master it, you can go far in your career. But then you take somebody like a Taylor Swift who's mastered all of them. She could be the eagle and stand in her power, fight for herself. She can also be the dove and she's compassionate. She gives back to her staff and her crew and the community and gives time to children. Clearly, her parrot on stage, the charisma, the energy, that one's obvious. But the owl, we see behind the scenes. Watch her in the studio, meticulous, precise. When you can display all four styles, first of all, you appeal to everyone, but also you can use the right style at the right time because it's available to you. Being the chameleon gives you a level of flexibility that drives success.
So interesting. Merrick, thank you so much. We really appreciate this. You are talking to employers, companies all over the country and about these personality traits and how it can help them in business and their personal lives. So we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about it today.
Thank you so much.